Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today is day 13 and it is a New Year's Eve inspired look. I have already done my base, so it's the Too Faced Do You Full Coverage Foundation in Snow mixed with the Peach Perfect by Too Faced in Swan, and then the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Pressed Powder over top. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. I'm pretty sure that I have everything laid out in front of me. I am going to start out with eyes. I'm gonna try really hard to keep the mirror down here. I'm using the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. This is one of my most recent palettes and I am still really enjoying it. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay down the primer potion. I don't plan on keeping this makeup on for very long. It is still very, very humid in my house, so I am planning on taking a shower as soon as I'm done with this because I am sticky and gross. But this is the primer potion in the anti-aging. Since I'm not trying to make this last for any amount of time, I'm going to go ahead and use that one. I just don't feel like the anti-aging lasts as long as the other primer potions do. And I've mentioned this before, but I think it's just because of whatever they put in it to make it anti-aging. So it's made to be more hydrating. It feels nice on the eyes. It's definitely got more of a slip to it though, and that's not necessarily what you're looking for when you're looking for something to, that was really loud, when you're looking for something to hold your makeup on. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to go, this is Rolling in the Dough. I'm probably not going to hold this up for all of the colors just because this is such a shiny palette and I don't want to be blinding. So, but I'm going to go in with Rolling in the Dough just to set down that primer potion so that my other shadows go over it nicely. And then I'm gonna do a sort of just black and then silver, and that's really, when I think about New Year's Eve, that is always what I like. The first thing that comes to mind is just black and silver. Like those are what I consider to be the primary New Year's Eve colors. So that is where we are going to start. I haven't used the black from this palette before. So this is a Cala brush. It's just a large shadow brush. And I'm just going to lay down the black. It's called Decadent. I'm going to start out just laying it down in this outer V. So I'm super excited that Halloween is coming. Halloween is definitely my favorite holiday. Although I have just in the last couple of years come around to liking other holidays, particularly Christmas. Christmas was never really something that I was super into. And it just, you know, for multiple reasons, a lot of it had to do with growing up, it being just me and my mom, and my mom didn't really love Christmas because my brothers weren't around and it was a really hard time for her. So it was always tough for my mom, and because we did not have much money, I'm sure that it was also incredibly financially stressful. And so Christmas was just something that, with the exception of a few things, it just wasn't my favorite time of year. I did always really enjoy decorating the Christmas tree, and that was something that was fun. That was something we would go. We always had real trees when I was growing up. So going out and picking out a tree was always just so much fun. And so we would go and I actually need that makeup wipe. We would go and pick out the trees and come home, and we would have to wait for a day after the tree was picked out for it to fall, because when they wrap them up tight, if you never had real trees, when they wrap them up tight, it makes it so that everything is like stuck up, so the branches will actually open up more and make it easier to decorate and make it a lot prettier. So there would always be like this whole day of waiting with the tree in the middle of the room once we got it. And for a kid, that is a huge deal, because you don't want to wait. You want to just get right in there. I'm still like that. I'm not the most patient person in the world. And so that was always really fun. And then on Christmas Eve, we always had the tradition of I would get one present, and the present was always pajamas. So pajamas on Christmas Eve are still a thing that is a really big deal to me. It's like the one major tradition that we had that I insisted on needing to keep after my mom died. And the first Christmas after my mom died, there were some issues with the pajamas. I ended up getting pajamas eventually, but they came late. But in the following years, my oldest brother Terry usually sends me some. Anytime that he hasn't, I've gotten, which I think he only missed 1 year. But my friend Melissa has given them to me, or my friend Linda. Like, it's just really nice that I have people who recognize how important that is to me, because it's something that a lot of people, I think people think that it's something that is for children and don't necessarily understand why, as an adult, I feel like somebody needs to give me pajamas on Christmas Eve. Because the reason we did that when I was a kid was to encourage me to go to sleep so that Santa Claus could come. And now I don't have that waiting for Santa Claus moment happening. So it is a little strange. All right, so I just did like a black base, which is big and extreme, but I'm going, and it's also, black is so hard, because if there is anything at all that is not perfect, it's going to show. So I am going to take just a clean blending brush, and I'm going to put So Bougie, again, I'm not going to show these to you, but it's sort of I don't know, like a peachy color. It's just a good transition shade, and go over this a little bit just to help blend it. So Santa Claus was also an interesting thing growing up. I don't know why I'm talking about Christmas. My whole intention here was to talk about Halloween and how much I love Halloween. But I'm having Christmas memories, so we're going to go with that. There was a time when I was 3, and my mom told me that Santa Claus might not be able to visit. And I think she had lost her job, and her and Santa Claus weren't on good terms. So she had told me that there was not going to be any presents. We didn't have a Christmas tree that year. And I was really little, so I didn't exactly understand. And again, it's one of those times that I can't even imagine how difficult that must have been for my mom to have to tell her kid that there was not going to be any presents and that we weren't really doing Christmas And I know there are a lot of families that don't celebrate Christmas, but when you do celebrate Christmas, it's completely different to be like, we're not, because we're just not able to this year. So on Christmas Eve, we went to bed, and I did get pajamas. I remember getting pajamas that year, and they were strawberry shortcake pajamas. And the next morning, when we woke up, there was a Christmas tree in our living room, and there were presents, tons of presents. And I just, it was, Santa Claus had come. Like, it was amazing. And I learned from my mom when I got older and was asking her about it, because I thought that maybe it was, you know, something that she had set up or whatever. She thinks that her boss from the job that she had had may have had something to do with her, with the tree being put in and the presents. But she doesn't know for sure. No one ever told her that they were the person who did it. And so it was, it really was, Santa Claus came that year. It was sort of a miracle. So I'm going to go into Rich Girl and start laying down. I did put down some glitter glue just to make sure that this is going to stick really well. But that was definitely the sort of defining moment in my childhood, as far as, you know, believing in humankind. And so that's always something that is good, that there are people out there that are still good. And I think that a lot of the people that I know in my current life are the kinds of people that would do that for somebody if they were able to and knew that somebody was in that situation. And knowing that I have those kinds of people around me is very comforting. And it's good to know that they're around. So I'm going to go into Dippin' Diamonds next. This is like a silver with a little bit of a blue undertone in it. I'm just going to go from the middle out into that color I just laid down. Just doing a really super metallic look. But yeah, so things like that made me not hate Christmas, for sure. But there were still things about Christmas growing up that were just difficult. Halloween, however, I love. I've always loved Halloween. We always did trick-or-treating growing up, and there was always a lot of time spent like figuring out what my costume was going to be. And my mom was not crafty at all. That just wasn't who she was. So that wasn't how. I'm going to use the large eyeshadow brush that I used for the black. I'm just going to use the other side and kind of blend these out a little bit. But it meant that we got to go looking for Halloween costumes, and a lot of times it would just be, you know, like the plastic mask with the little like the little cheap costume, whatever. But I loved it. And for trick-or-treating, we would usually go in our neighborhood, and then we would also, like, either my mom would take us, or like my best friend's dad took us a couple of times, and we would go out. I'm trying to just get this on here really lightly. I don't want it to completely cover that black, but I want it to not be such a harsh line here either. So we would go to, like, we would go through our neighborhood, and then we would go to other neighborhoods. So sometimes we would go to, like, the wealthier neighborhoods that had the better candy, which is what every kid wants to do for Halloween when they are little. It's what adults probably want to do too if they're out trying to get candy. So that was always just a lot of fun. And then I also really like the Halloween aesthetic. The Halloween aesthetic is kind of the aesthetic that's in my house. And I like the very realistic version. I was just going to go straight into mascara. I'm not ready for mascara. I am going to go under here with some Decadent, though, with some of the black. And I want to be kind of careful and not smoke this in too far or too much because I don't want it to just turn into a big raccoon eye. But I like the more realistic views. So things like medical charts or skeletons or actual like I really like ravens and skulls, but real skulls. So I like sugar skulls, but they have to be of a certain aesthetic. I'm less interested in them as part of my decor. I still like them when they're kind of more cartoony. And I still like the other things as well when they're more cartoony. It's just less of the aesthetic that I want as just like my home decor. At that point, it does become more of like a decoration. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 24/7 liner in my eye. This is just the black Urban Decay. It's Perversion. The mascara I'm going to be using is also the Perversion mascara by Urban Decay. So Halloween is definitely still exciting for me. I stopped going trick-or-treating when I was 12, which now seems like kids stop going even earlier than that. But I've gone a few times with my best friend and her daughter, and that's fun and exciting. And I always get sad when I have to work on trick-or-treat days because getting to go and see the kids go trick-or-treating is now one of my absolute favorite parts of Halloween. It's so adorable. And getting to see the costumes and seeing how excited kids get is so much fun. And it's so exciting. Okay, so I am actually going to skip doing liner and doing a wing. I think it would go well with this look, but I'm not going to put on fake lashes, and I don't want it to become something that is so over the top that it doesn't look right without fake lashes on. So I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes and put on mascara. So the mascara that I'm using it's got a really fat wand. I'll show it to you in a second. It's one that was my absolute like holy grail mascara for a while. And then I switched over to the Tarte, but it's just still holding my palette because I'm using the mirror, but so it's a super fat with just pretty short little guys on there. Short little guys. I have a way with words lately. Short little bristles. But it is pretty lengthening. And if you like a fat spoolie on the end of your mascara wands, this is a good one. If, however, you are having a moment like me, and having a fat spoolie means that you're getting mascara all over your eyelid, this probably isn't the wand for you. I've been using really thin wands lately, and it is very apparent in the current doing of my mascara. Okay. I hate getting these little inside lashes. I haven't used this mascara in quite a while. It's wetter than I remember it being. It's clumping my lashes together more than I remember it doing. So for the bottom, I'm actually going to try this mascara that I keep meaning to try. It's Pixie by Petra, and it's Lower Lash Mascara in Black Detail. I don't even know if they still sell this. I got it a while ago, and then I just forgot about it. And when I was moving the stuff around in my room and on my vanity yesterday, I came across it and was like, oh yeah, I should use that. So it's the end of it. Like, I almost feel like this is really intended for me to like tight line with mascara or something, because the end of it is a type of thin that it doesn't grab any of the hairs. It's basically just, the wand just goes straight up and it just has some little tiny like bumps on it. So it is not doing a great job of coating my lashes. I would not recommend this. Okay, it's just getting frustrating now. I'm just going to leave it. We're going to call that good. I do still have some of the other mascara on my eye. I'm going to wait until it completely dries and then flake it off. So I'm going to go ahead and do some bronzer, blush, highlight. For my bronzer contour, I'm using the Tarte Park Avenue Princess. Oh, too much. Too much. Yeah. Alright, so you're going to get to see what happens when you put on way too much. This is actually, I don't know, it's looking very orange. And I don't remember it being this orange. I noticed it yesterday too. Maybe I need to go back to the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil, because I don't feel like it was as orange as this is. And this would probably be good if I was actually just trying to look like I had a tan maybe. But it's so hard for anybody with fair skin to be able to find contour and bronzer that isn't either way too warm and looks completely orange, or is too like gray toned and looks dirty or makes you look dead. So there's that. And then I am going to use the Laura Geller Tropic Hues Baked Blush and Brighten. And I grabbed almost everything but not a blush brush. So I'm going to use the brush that I'm going to use for my highlighter first for my blush. Okay. I had the Chocolate Soleil up here. I should have used it. Oh well, too late now. I am going to use the Ofra highlighter in Pillow Talk and give myself a nice glow. Because this is pink with sort of a silvery shift in it. I think I said gold the last time I was talking about it. I definitely meant silver. Those are not the same thing. But I think that this will go well with the eye look. A lot of my highlighters definitely have more of like a gold tint to them, which doesn't work out very well with a silver look without clashing a bit. So glowy, glowy and beautiful. Okay, I still have this thing on my nose. I'm really hoping that it doesn't scar, because if it does, that's gonna make me sad. Okay, and lips. I did my eyebrows, sort of. I just put on the Benefit Give Me Brow in 4.5. I did that before I started filming. Also, I keep saying filming, and when I'm editing back, it bothers me so much because it's not film. It's recording. It's a very hard habit to break. So I did decide that I was just going to go with a red lip gloss. So this is the ABH lip gloss in Neon Apple. So it's an orangey red shade. And I was going to go with just a true red lipstick, but I've been really wanting to wear lip gloss the last few days. And this is, of all of the lip glosses, I don't own very many lip glosses. Of all of the lip glosses that I've tried, these are my favorite. Okay, so I totally overlined more than I meant to because I slipped while I was putting it on, and it is what it is. Today is just we're having fun, not gonna worry about it kind of makeup day. So, New Year's Eve inspired look. Here it is. Very shiny and glowy and glam. That's what I think of when I think of New Year's Eve. I think that New Year's Eve is the best time to do like Great Gatsby parties and fireworks, and it reminds me of all of those things. So my eyebrows, I started to say, don't know if I finished, Benefit Give Me Brow in 4.5. I just kind of brushed it through a little bit. I didn't try to do anything with them. This is just my natural uneven brows with a little bit of color over them. Aren't they beautiful? Okay, so I will say this lipstick makes your teeth look so yellow, which I've never noticed before. So this has just ceased to be a favorite of mine. I'll be finding something that doesn't make my teeth look yellow. When it has a more of a blue undertone, it makes teeth look whiter, so I need to go with that. The formula is still my favorite. It's very opaque. They smell amazing. ABH knows how to do their lip glosses. They're comfortable. They don't do that thing where they like get crusty towards the inside of your mouth. Okay, so that is all for today. I hope that everyone had a great day and that you're doing very well and that you're having fun with makeup or having fun watching me do makeup. Thank you for being here. Have a good day.